Welcome to Paramount Recaps. Today we will recap one of the best series of 2020.
This series follows the story of Jisoo, a high school student who seems quiet and does really well in his studies. But secretly, he's also a mediator in the nightlife industry, helping people out with their problems. He's aided by his friend Lee Wong-chol, who makes sure everyone stays safe. To keep his identity hidden, Jisoo always refers to himself as uncle and changes his voice when he's working. Jisoo lives on his own because his dad disappeared when he was younger. He works hard to make money for his dream of going to college. His only companion at home is his pet snail, which he cares for dearly. Despite his busy life, Jisoo still manages to keep up with his schoolwork. One day, while Jisoo is at school, Lee tells him that someone needs their help. They rush to the client's location, where they find a woman who has been badly hurt by a man with strange fantasies. Lee takes care of the situation and makes sure the man pays for what he did. In addition to helping people, Lee also provides security for others and earns a lot of money, which he saves for Jisoo. He puts the money in a locker at the station for Jisoo to collect later. Meanwhile, Jisoo keeps an eye on a bully at school named Kwak Ki Tai, who leads a gang known for picking on weaker students. Jisoo was too busy looking at Bai Gyu to notice the noise around him. Even though they've been in the same class for a while, Jisoo never talked to her, just admired her secretly. Then, Jisoo's teacher, Jo Jin-wo, asked him to join a club about teenage problems. Even though Jisoo wasn't really interested, Jin-wo made him join, along with Gyu, who seemed confused. After school, Jisoo talked about kids who do bad things. He and Gyu discussed students who become adult entertainers in school, but Jisoo stayed quiet. The scene shifts to some girls who are friends with him. They were curious about Uncle, who helps them talk to customers. One of them, Si Myeon, asked Jisoo for help with a job, but he said no because he needed to fix his phone. Later, Jisoo used his phone to text Gyu because she wanted to meet him at a restaurant to talk about the club. Jisoo wanted to impress her, so he took out his saved money and bought her coffee at a cafe, but he felt embarrassed when he got the wrong coffee. While they talked, Gyu asked about Jisoo's life. When she found out he lives alone without family, she felt sorry for him. She said nice things about Jisoo, which made him feel really good because nobody ever said things like that to him before. Without Jisoo or Lee Wong-chol's approval, Ming-hee boldly meets a client who turns out to be Tom Man, seeking revenge for the thugs hired to attack him. Tom Man plans to trap Lee using Ming-hee. When Ming-hee realizes the danger, she activates the emergency button on her phone. But since Lee Wong-chol's phone is inactive, the emergency message automatically goes to Jisoo, who is with Gyu at the time. Jisoo tries to contact Wong-chol, who is unreachable. Meanwhile, he receives a call from Ming-hee's phone, which has been taken by Tom Man, as she has been tied up by him. Tom Man forces Ming-hee to plead for Jisoo's help, prompting him to leave Gyu behind to rescue Ming-hee. Hurrying to the station locker, Jisoo searches for tools to aid Ming-hee's rescue, but finds none. Instead, he guides Ming-hee over the phone, advising her to escape and informing the police. Panicked by the approaching police car, Tom Man and his accomplices flee, while Ming-hee struggles to free herself and flee despite her injured leg. At the same time, police officer Lee Hyung searches the motel rooms after a report of underage involvement in the entertainment business. Despite glimpsing Ming-hee with an injured leg, she fails to locate her during the search. After Ming-hee's successful escape, Jisoo returns to the cafe where he left Gyu. Later, he finds Gyu is with her parents. Kai's mother, Joy Yan, asks her daughter to start learning about the company's affairs by attending the shareholders' meeting next week. Although Gyu is reluctant, she cannot defy her mother's orders. The following day, Gyu notices Jisoo sleeping in class and quietly takes his phone from his bag. Unfortunately, Kree can't unlock the phone due to the password until the break. Jisoo hasn't realized his usual business phone is missing until he meets Kree to apologize for leaving her at the cafe during his part-time job. When she hands him a club registration brochure, she accidentally sees another phone code of Jisoo's, so she tries to unlock the phone she took using the same code. Unexpectedly, Kree manages to unlock the phone and reads various messages, realizing that Jisoo acts as a mediator for female entertainers with their clients. Meanwhile, Jisoo realizes his business phone is missing and immediately returns to school to check, finding out it's still there. Frustrated and panicked, he unintentionally disrupts Ming-hee and Kwak Ki Tai's birthday celebration, leading to a confrontation where he is eventually beaten up by Kwak Ki-tae. Fortunately, the fight ends when Jong-jin arrives, seeking reconciliation with his son Jisoo. At the shop, Jong-jin proposes that Jisoo live with him, but Jisoo declines, frustrated by his father's history of exploiting him. Without wasting time, Jisoo chooses to leave and continue searching for his phone, which is now tracked to an internet cafe, where Kree suddenly receives a notification from Jisoo's phone, asking for a request from Mingi for Jisoo to find a client for her that night. Shortly after, Mingi meets a client, but upon seeing the man, she experiences a panic attack, prompting her to press the emergency button for help. Kree receives the distress signal on Jisoo's phone and learns of Mingi's situation. Wong Cheol rescues Mingi, advising her to leave the nightlife industry. At the same time, Tree overhears their conversation, discovering Mingi's involvement in illegal activities. After returning home, Jisoo contacts Wong Cheol using his old number, informing him that they can't conduct business for now due to his missing phone. Cheol realizes that Jisoo's phone is being used by someone else soon after Kree contacts Jisoo with his business phone, asking about revenue and the number of women he provides. Jisoo, using a disguised voice, doesn't recognize Cheol's caller ID. He suspects the thief may blackmail him, instructing Cheol to confront them. But just as Cheol tracks Jisoo's phone, Kree learns of their plan and deactivates Jisoo's phone to prevent tracing, frustrating Jisoo as he loses track of it again. The next day, Jisoo is absent from school, leaving Jin-woo concerned for his student who has never skipped school before. Meanwhile, at home, Jisoo, fearing the thief may expose his illegal activities, plans to leave the apartment. While packing his belongings, Jisoo is surprised by Cheol's arrival at his apartment after being instructed by Jin-woo to check on Jisoo. Feeling uncomfortable with Kree's presence, Jisoo asks her to leave, but she insists until he allows her inside his house. In her heart, Kree still can't reconcile Jisoo's innocent appearance with his illicit business. After seeing Jisoo's suitcase being taken out, Kree becomes curious about where he's going, and he admits he's going to meet his father out of town, so he won't be attending school for quite some time. Shortly after, she asks for permission to go to the restroom and secretly calls Jisoo using his business phone, asking him to come to a certain place if he wants his phone back. She purposely makes Jisoo leave the house immediately as she intends to search his room. Not long after Jisoo leaves, Cheol is shocked by the arrival of Jan-jin and hides in the wardrobe. She witnesses Jisoo's father taking all of his son's savings, prompting her to chase after Jan-jin to save Jisoo's money. Hugh follows Jin-jin outside until she can't keep up after he takes a bike. Meanwhile, Jisoo resumes tracking his phone, which is near his apartment, so he heads back. While crossing the street, Jisoo is surprised to see Jan-jin running with his savings and Kree chasing after him. At that moment, Jisoo, checking the location of his phone, finally realizes that Kree is the thief he's been looking for. The next day in class, Jisoo, still upset with Kree's behavior, is again harassed by Kit, which makes him even more annoyed and resistant. Shortly after, Kree suddenly arrives and asks Kit not to bother Jisoo anymore, stating that Jisoo is officially her boyfriend. Hearing this, Jisoo quickly follows Kree, who leaves, to ask why she claims to be his girlfriend. She admits wanting to get to know him better because she wants to join the illegal business he has been running. Kree even offers her judo club friends to be Jisoo's clients, which can attract more female customers for greater profit. Despite the good looks and martial arts skills of Kree's friends, Jisoo doesn't need to hire Cheol to protect them. However, Jisoo refuses to collaborate with Kree as he plans to find Jin to get his money back. As he prepares to leave, he encounters Kree arriving at his apartment. He immediately searches her bag for his phone that she hasn't returned. Kree claims she doesn't have the phone and offers to join Jisoo's business, but he insists on refusing and leaves her behind. Despite her objections, Kree decides to follow him. After boarding a bus, they continue on foot while searching for Jin's address until they reach Jisoo's father's house in the late afternoon. Unfortunately, Jin's house is locked, so Jisoo and Kree enter through a window. Quickly, Jisoo searches his father's house, but doesn't find his 60 million won. Exhausted, Jisoo falls asleep at Jin's house and wakes up the next morning upon hearing his father's voice entering the house. Quickly, Kree knocks Jin down, and Jisoo stuns him with an electric device to force him to reveal where he hid the money. Jin confesses to investing it in a cryptocurrency site, which Kree recognizes as a scam. Shortly after, they receive notifications of significant losses suffered by Jin, prompting Kree to try to withdraw the remaining money, but Jin blocks her attempts. Realizing that his money is gone, Jisoo becomes increasingly enraged, even considering killing his father with a kitchen knife. Jisoo decides to leave Jongjin's house because he feels uncomfortable staying there. Gyuri, sensing his unease, chooses to accompany him quietly on the bus ride back, refraining from engaging in conversation. Meanwhile, Gyu Ri, feeling guilty about stealing Jisoo's phone, decides to return it secretly the following day, slipping it back unnoticed. Jisoo, unaware of the theft, only realizes his phone has been returned when he hears familiar notification sounds while waiting at the train station on his way to school. As the day progresses, Jisoo is reminded of his unpaid tutoring fees, adding to his financial worries. Seeking to restart his business, Jisoo approaches Lee Wong-chol, but his request is met with refusal until he settles his outstanding debts. This situation leaves Jisoo feeling even more perplexed as he lacks the funds to clear his debts. In the midst of these financial concerns, Lee Wong-chol is questioned by the Mingi about his lack of work activity. He attributes his current situation to awaiting payment from his employer and briefly mentions his affluent family background, cautioning against certain types of work due to potential negative effects on mental well-being. Despite the financial hurdles, Jisoo resolves to take on a part-time job, knowing it won't be sufficient to cover all his debts. The next day, Gyuri, a friend of Jisoo's, approaches him with a significant sum of money obtained by selling some personal belongings, urging him to start a business and offering to share profits. However, Jisoo declines the offer, feeling manipulated by Gyuri's actions. Following the stress of exams, Jisoo experiences an unexpected setback when he receives the lowest grade in his class, leading to suspicions of cheating among his peers. Seeking solace and distraction, Jisoo suggests to Gyuri that they enter into business together, but Gyuri raises concerns about other students' involvement in illegal activities. Concerned about the safety of his earnings, Jisoo starts looking for a more secure place to keep his money, wary of potential theft by Jongjin. Meanwhile, Gyuri takes on the responsibility of managing the administrative aspects of Jisoo's business, diligently recording customer transactions and income. Amidst these challenges, Gyuri's mother reminds her of an upcoming business meeting, where she accompanies her to meet Mr. Choi, the CEO of Heaven Entertainment. Mr. Choi expresses interest in Gyuri's appearance, hinting at potential opportunities in the entertainment industry. Mr. Choi even suggested recruiting Gyuri into his agency, which made her mother proud. Later, after the event, Gyuri met Ju at their usual cafe to discuss sharing profits for Ju's business. After a thorough discussion, they agreed to split 30% of the profits with Gyuri. On another occasion, Ju, still without a secure place to keep his money, had to carry it in his bag. When he tried to store the money in his locker, he found it smeared with oil, suspecting Kit's involvement. Ju was still upset about disrupting Kit and Min's romantic event the other day, after seeing his uniform also stained with the black liquid. Jisoo immediately washed it in the school toilet, where he happened to meet Kei, who admitted that he held no grudge against Jisoo. On the same day, Hung and her police partner were assigned to educate students at Kwang High School. During their inspection of the school area, Hyung, who had suspicions about Mingi, observed her carrying the same bag she had seen during a motel raid. Hyung and her colleague then trailed Mingi as she proceeded to the back area of the school to smoke with some troublesome students. They dispersed after Hyung issued a warning before departing. Kitai covertly instructed a male student to place toys in Jisoo's bag. Kitai then went to the teacher's room to report about the student smoking in the school toilet. With that report, the guidance counselor named Bachi intended to conduct searches in all classes. When Bachi entered Jisoo's class, Gyuri, who knew that Jisoo had some money in his bag, tried to alert him about the upcoming search of students' bags by the school authorities. Fortunately, Jin Woo reminded Bachi of the key to seeking the student's permission if the school was to conduct a search, so Jisoo could refuse the search, even discussing civil rights, which intrigued Bachi even more about Jisoo. Just before the situation became more challenging for Jisoo, the fire alarm went off, prompting the teachers to ask all students to run outside. Unexpectedly, the fire alarm was deliberately activated by Gyuri to save Jisoo from the search by the teachers for her actions. Gyuri was summoned by a teacher who saw her actions through the surveillance camera. After Gyuri left the teacher's room, Ju gave her a burger as an apology for getting scolded by the teachers. She then invited him to go to the social research club room and suggested he hide the money under the sofa. Gyuri then took Jisoo's bag to retrieve the money, only to be surprised by a toy inside his bag. Jisoo appeared confused, questioning who the owner of the toy was. After school, Gyuri appeared happy walking with Jisoo towards the gate, but her mood went off when she saw her mother, Haeyeon, picking her up. Haeyeon, noticing her daughter's closeness to Ju, invited him into the car to inquire about his relationship with Kree. Later that evening, Tree visited her mother, who was judging talent at her agency. While there, she observed a boy band member being scolded for not focusing on practice and spoke with a young man named Tin Ray, who expressed dissatisfaction with his career in the entertainment industry. To assist him in earning extra money, she provided him with a link. After concluding her activities at her mother's agency, Kree went to Jisoo's apartment and brought food intending to stay overnight. They then discussed Tin Ray working for Ju, prompting Jisoo to contact Tin Ray to discuss the job. Shortly after, Ju and Kree slept in separate rooms to rest for school the next morning. At school, Minnie presented Ju with a gift, sparking jealousy in QRI, who then prodded Jisoo about his ideal type of girl as they headed to the social research club room. Upon opening the door, they found Haeyeon questioning Minnie about the motel incident from before. Jisoo and Tree grew anxious, fearing their business would be jeopardized if Minnie revealed details. Haeyeon assured Minnie of confidentiality, but just as Minnie was about to speak, Jisoo intervened, emphasizing her right to privacy. Soon after, Haeyeon was called away due to a complaint about a police officer pressuring a student to confess, ending the interrogation. Later that night at Jisoo's apartment, Tree urged him to remove Mingi from their chat group for security reasons. She also instructed Lee Wong-chol to meet Minnie, erase call logs from her phone, and take her distress bracelet. When Minnie inquired about her removal from the group, Lee Wong-chol explained it was due to her frequent panic attacks during their operations. On another occasion, Minnie received a call from Haeyeon, who persisted in seeking information from her until Minnie grew annoyed and refused to testify. Meanwhile, Kitai confronted Jisoo, who consistently defended Minnie until Minnie intervened and stopped Kitai's actions. In the midst of this, Kree angrily warned Kit against harming Jisoo, asserting that Minnie was at fault for not admitting to the theft. She committed to buying a gift for Kitai. Kree then took the injured Jisoo for immediate treatment. Shortly after, Mingi met Jisoo to question why he always defended her, even suspecting that he liked her. Ju, still keeping his business providing entertainment for women a secret, confessed that he defended her because everyone had the right to keep secrets. She then invited him somewhere, and he accepted. Later that evening, Tree, who visited Jisoo's apartment, was upset not to find him there, unaware that he was with Minnie. Unexpectedly, Minnie asked Jisoo to meet Lee Wong-chol at a cafe to demand the severance pay owed to her. Mingi, after being removed from their group, threatened to expose their business unless she received payment immediately. Unbeknownst to her and Lee Wong-chol, Jisoo, also known as Uncle, managed the business. When Wong-chol contacted Jisoo regarding May's severance pay, Jisoo abruptly ended the call. Later, Wong-chol encountered a customer named Daeol, prompting Daeol's associates to attack him. Despite Wong-chol's bravery, he was injected with a substance and nearly lost consciousness. Meanwhile, Jisoo attempted to protect Wong-chol and Mingi, but was captured by Daeol's gang. Daeol accused Jisoo of having an affair with his girlfriend, but Ming intervened, denying any wrongdoing. Concerned for Wong-chol's injuries, Ming urgently sought medical help for him, while also worrying about Jisoo's abduction. At Daeol's hideout, Jisoo was eventually released after Daeol realized the misunderstanding. Daeol became curious about an app on Jisoo's phone linked to Ming's activities. Jisoo explained that the app coordinated entertainment services while he provided security. Impressed, Daeol speculated that Jisoo was the mastermind behind the business. Jisoo found himself in danger when his associates suggested eliminating him to prevent potential leaks of information. Desperate, Jisoo pleaded for his life, proposing to convince his boss to collaborate. He then contacted Gyu Ri, who realized the danger he was in. To protect Jisoo, Gyu Ri lied about collaborating with them, which made Daeol happy and led to Jisoo's release. Feeling relieved, Jisoo reassured Ginwoo of his safety and confronted Gyu Ri about the risky plan. Meanwhile, Mingi confessed her illegal activities to Kitai, only to discover that Kitai had known about them for a long time. Ashamed, Mingi chose to leave, dropping the keychain that Kit had given her. Shortly after, May visited Wong-chol at the hospital, who was still unconscious. Jisoo also arrived with a gift for May, relieved that she hadn't revealed their illegal business to the police. The next day, when Wong-chol woke up, he asked for his phone, prompting Mingi to search for it in his car. Unable to find it, she attempted to obtain Uncle's phone number from her fellow entertainment women, but received no response when she tried to contact him. Mingi then messaged Jisoo that Wong Chol's phone had been confiscated by the police. Gyu Ri approached Jisoo, asking how they would handle the complex situation. Feeling overwhelmed, Jisoo contemplated their options, torn between facing jail time or the danger posed by Daeol and his associates. Determined, Gyu Ri offered to confront Daeol's group alone, a proposition Jisoo eventually agreed to. Meanwhile, Kitai grew suspicious of Gyu Ri and Jisoo, admitting to trying to uncover Mingi's secret because he didn't want her to sacrifice her integrity for money. Later, Kitai instructed his henchmen to track down the person who had sold Mingi on the online prostitution site. At the hospital, Jisoo quietly visited Wong Chol's treatment room to give him a new phone, but Mingi soon arrived, and they discussed Ming's dilemma about whether to confess to the police. Jisoo cautioned Mingi that confessing could lead to her arrest, while reporting Daeol's group might provoke retaliation. Mingi remained silent and asked Jisoo to stay with Wong Chol. When Wong Chol woke up, Jisoo apologized for not being more helpful, but Wong Chol brushed it off as bad luck. Seeing Wong Chol improving, Jisoo said goodbye and stepped into the emergency stairs to take a call from Daeol, who inquired about what Jisoo's boss liked, hinting at a meeting with the uncle who ran the nightlife business. Meanwhile, Gyu Ri was getting ready, putting on makeup and discreetly arming herself with a knife in case Daeol posed a threat. At the restaurant, she was taken aback to find Jisoo with Daeol and his associates. She overheard Daeol urging Jisoo to drop out of school and work for him, with dire consequences if he refused. Jisoo felt frustrated about leaving school, while Gyu Ri blamed herself for Jisoo's troubles. Daeol ended the lunch event by leaving a gift for the uncle in the form of money and a tracker so he could locate Jisoo's boss. When night fell, Jisoo and Gyu Ri sat at the bus stop waiting for the bus. After Jisoo returned without bringing the box, Gyu Ri decided to take it without knowing that there was another tracker inside the gift box. Meanwhile, Jisoo, still on the bus, felt desperate because he had to leave school and his dreams of continuing his education were in jeopardy. Returning to Gyu Ri, she went to school to stash the gift box under the sofa. While taking a break, she was suddenly abducted by Daeol and his henchmen. When Jisoo arrived at the final bus stop, he got a call from Daeol. Furious at Jisoo's deception, Daeol threatened to harm Gyu Ri if Jisoo didn't come to their headquarters immediately. Shortly after, Daeol's henchmen beat Jisoo until he passed out and stuffed him into the car trunk, bound for their headquarters. Meanwhile, Gyu Ri managed to injure Daeol with the knife she had brought. Jisoo, regaining consciousness, quietly opened the trunk, stunned a henchman with a stun gun, and drove off in the henchman's car, rescuing Gyu Ri. Despite Daeol and Mi-jung's attempts to stop them, they escaped. At the hospital, Mingi helped Wong Chol escape by attacking the police guards. Wong Chol then took her to the house of his friend, named J.D. Kahid. After burning the car they used, Jisoo and Gyu Ri sought refuge in a motel. Inside, Gyu Ri asked Jisoo if he liked her, because he always risked himself to protect her. Jisoo, in turn, asked a similar question, and Gyu Ri affirmed her commitment despite the danger. Initially, Jisoo laughed, but then broke into tears, feeling lost in the face of their situation. The following day, Gyu Ri, who woke up early, secretly took Jisoo's business phone and went to the Banana Club. While attempting to enter a room believed to be Daeol's, she was discovered and caught. As Daeol began choking her, Kitai and his armed henchmen intervened, prompting a confrontation. Seeing the opportunity, Gyu Ri informed Kit about Mingi's whereabouts in the nightclub, leveraging this information to her advantage. Daeol attempted negotiation with Kit's gang, while Gyu Ri grabbed a fire extinguisher, attacked Daeol, and escaped. Meanwhile, K and his gang stormed the club, engaging in a fierce battle with Daeol's henchmen. On the other hand, Wong Chol also arrived at the Banana Club, joining forces with Kit's group despite his incomplete recovery. As Gyu Ri tried to exit, she faced Daeol's henchmen, but Jisoo came to her rescue. However, they were captured by Daeol, who dragged them to the rooftop. Fortunately, Wong Chol arrived to save them, surprising Gyu Ri and Jisoo. He urged them to leave while he confronted Daeol alone on the rooftop. Wong Chol fought Daeol with his remaining strength until he finally managed to defeat the gangster. Meanwhile, Mingi was furious with Wong Chol for abandoning her, prompting her to go to the police station and report what she knew about Jisoo's illegal business. With that report, the police raided the Banana Club and apprehended a group of students involved with the gangsters. Upon questioning at the police station, Hae-young inquired about Wang Chol, who was discovered deceased alongside Deol on the rooftop. Unfortunately, all the delinquent students, including Ki-tae and his associates, denied any knowledge of Wang Chol. Ki-tae and his men had arrived at the Banana Club based on information about Mingi's presence there. Days later at school, students discussed the cases involving Ki-tae and Mingi, leading to Mingi being isolated and bullied by her friends. Jisoo, feeling remorseful for Mingi, attempted to reach out to her, but she blamed him for preventing her from confessing to the police. Minnie believed that if she had been truthful from the start, Wang Chol would not have suffered the consequences. During a ride to the Banana Club, Ji-Woo-ri and Jisoo had a disagreement because Ji-Woo-ri was determined to continue their business, despite Jisoo's concerns for her safety. That evening, Ji-Woo-ri asked Jisoo to meet her by the lake and instructed him to check the sofa in the school counseling club, expressing her intention to travel to a country where she would be recognized. Although Ji-Woo-ri wanted Jisoo to accompany her, he declined and urged her to take care of herself. The following day, Jisoo examined the sofa in the counseling room and discovered a bundle of money given to Ji-Woo-ri by Deol. Quickly closing the sofa, Jisoo departed. Meanwhile, Hae-young, who still possessed evidence of Ji-Woo-ri's illegal business, attempted to follow instructions from the installed application, leading her to the empty counseling room at school. Another day, Jisoo was called to the police station after evidence was discovered in the counseling room. Learning about the summons, Jisoo began to panic, fearing exposure of his illegal activities. At the station, Jin-woo, questioned by Hae-young, believed his student wouldn't be involved in a prostitution case as claimed by the police. Back at his apartment, a panicked Jisoo attempted to write an apology and recalled Ri's suggestion to leave the country. Meanwhile, he received a message from Minnie asking to meet in the park, handing Jisoo's cap found by Ki-tae at the club. Mei asked Ju if he was present, to which he offered only apologies. However, as Mei was leaving, Jisoo disclosed his true identity and that of Uncle. This revelation shocked Minnie, who realized that Jisoo and Ji-Woo-ri were behind the figure of Uncle, who had been providing her with work. Unexpectedly, Minnie secretly recorded all her conversations with Jisoo. When she played back the recording in the park, Jisoo became enraged and tried to forcibly take her phone because she planned to surrender to the police. However, Minnie refused, leading to a struggle for the phone that caused her to slip and fall to her death from the stairs. Panicked, Ju took Minnie's phone before going to the restroom to clean off her blood traces. Upon his return to his apartment, Jisoo hastily packed his essentials to flee, but his plan was thwarted when Kai-tae arrived seeking revenge for Minnie. While trying to contact Minnie, Ki-tae heard her phone ringing inside Jisoo's bag, which led to the discovery of Minnie's blood-stained phone. Enraged, Ki-tae demanded answers from Jisoo and violently attacked him with scissors, inflicting multiple stab wounds. As Ki-tae prepared to strike again, Ji-Woo-ri intervened and fatally struck Kit. She then assisted Jisoo in escaping, but when they reached the stairs, Jisoo urged Ji-Woo-ri to leave him behind despite her plea. Ji-Woo-ri begged Jisoo to stay with her. Hae-young arrives at Jisoo's disordered apartment and discovers bloodstains throughout the place. However, despite following these traces, she finds nobody on the emergency staircase. Eventually, Ji-Woo-ri and Jisoo manage to escape successfully and start a new life in a different location where they are shown caring for their pets.